Making connections over 200 episodes won't be easy. Join me on this journey of conversation where I connect with those people that have gotten me this far so I can go even farther. This is the Dependent Independent Podcast. Hey there, everyone. Thank you for downloading and listening to episode 75 of the Dependent Independent Podcast. I'm your host, Nick G, and this is a 200-episode podcast about making connections, looking back while moving forward. In these episodes, these full episodes, which we have a lot of them, we've been doing this for about 3 years now, I'm joined by a co-host, not a guest, where I bring someone who I've connected with either through someone or directly through everyday life, and we pick a topic, and hopefully we tell some stories and share some experiences where you can learn from what we did, and hopefully you can learn a lesson or two to get you and help you to move forward. Now, it's been a long break. I took 2 weeks off. I don't usually do that, but it is refreshing. But I swear to God, Allison, it's a lifetime when I take weeks off. Sure. Now, you've met Allison before. We are also posting this on YouTube, but the video won't go up for probably another day or so because I'm busy with work. But these shows post every Monday at midnight, even though we're recording this on January 2nd because yesterday was the 1st, and it was a holiday, and I ain't doing shit. So nothing was posted yesterday, but we do post this on all your regular iTunes and Android podcast players on your phones. So please feel free to subscribe however you're listening to us, and we have hyperlinks in the show notes. See how marble-mouthed I am?
You got it out.
See, most people, they edit this out. No, bullshit. Not going to do it. Not going to do it because the video would be all fucked up because I can't, if I edit this, I got to edit that, and that takes too long. So I'm joined today, and are you cool? You still cool with the video? You still cool with the video?
Good.
People are watching. I'm joined today by a co-host and a friend of mine and another entrepreneur that I've had the pleasure to meet and buy something that they've created. I'm joined here by Allison Gallagher. Say hello, Allison.
Hello, Allison.
Allison joined us on episodes 70 and 71, that live broadcast or podcast we did at the Vana Brewing Company a few months ago, and we had talked about having you on the show and having you, just with me, pick a topic very different than what we did on the podcast at the brewery. So, and we bounced around a few ideas for the show.
There's so many.
So many. And I think I texted you a few, and at first... Wait, I can't even remember. We were upstairs. We picked one. I can't remember. And if this is our first time listening to the show, we're very organized. And that's what we're going to talk about. Organized. We are very organized.
What did we talk about?
Usually I have something to drink, Allison. And because you're setting a good example, you are detoxing, and so am I. So for those viewers watching YouTube, in this Star Wars mug is a tea that was in the back of the tea cabinet that said something about it cleans your liver. And so that's what I'm drinking. And it doesn't, I put a lot of honey in it, but it smells like I'm drinking tree bark. You should smell it. It smells like a Pier 1. You ever Pier 1? That's what that tastes like. If Pier 1 was a tea, that's what it tastes like. All that and a little bit of eucalyptus. All right. So.
It's so good for you.
Sure. All right. So we wanted to talk about, you and I, we were talking in the bumper about goals. And I'm, when you start a new year, you kind of want to start fresh.
So can I interrupt?
You can always interrupt.
What we were going to talk about, I think it was more being hard on ourselves, not accepting a successful moment in our life.
That's it too. So we set the...
Right? That was like something...
So yeah, so you attack the year. Now's the time where everybody's putting New Year's resolutions. I'm going to get to the gym. I'm going to get to the gym. You know what it is? I gotta teach myself.
It's a hard habit to start.
I'm not the jockiest of guys. I used to play a lot of video games. Right? There's a Nintendo just hooked up right behind the camera here, and Allison, I used to play video games as a ritual every night. 2 to 3 hours, sit on my ass. As soon as I hit about 37, 38. I was like, is this it? Is this what I'm going to do? Like, is this what I'm committing to every night? It's fun, but I need to break away from it. So I started creating rules where it was only on weekends. And now, ironically,
to a point, for me.
Right now, I don't do that at all. I mean, I do it, but not in the binge sense of sitting down and completely, gaming for 4 or 5 hours.
I'm surprised my husband bought me that Nintendo Classic, whatever it is.
Super NES Classic.
Because
did he get the actual NES Classic?
I don't know.
What's it look like? Is it?
We didn't get it yet.
Oh.
It's in the mail. And so so when my husband and I were dating, he lived in Egg Harbor, and I was in art school, and I would cut class to drive to his apartment, let myself in, and play NBA Street for hours.
Really?
Hours. So
You? NBA?
NBA Street, you don't even know. And then a friend of ours said, "How good?
What was that on?
How could you?"
N64 or something?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Okay. Now I gotta
I
look that
can't
up.
remember.
You guys got to look that up.
NBA Street, and I was so good that one of our buddies was like, "Dude, how good could she be?" I challenged him, and I beat him bad.
I'm not really big into sport games. I mean,
There was whatever games my husband had, I could be addicted to any games, and so we don't have any gaming devices in our home at all. And I'm totally like, my husband didn't want to get one.
so you're
I used to come home from clubbing with my friends. I was like 20.
Whoa.
I was like 20.
Whoa,
I was
whoa,
underage.
whoa.
I had my sister's ID, and so
we should talk more about this clubbing
20
comment.
At 20 years old, I'd go out to the bars with my friends. I would let myself into my sister's house, and I would play Grand Theft Auto till 5, 6 in the morning.
Grand Theft Auto 3 on PlayStation 2.
I don't know.
What year was it?
98 ish, 97.
Really? Oh, you're talking like
I was 19.
what it looked like.
90,
Top down,
90.
driving a car. You don't remember, do you? Isn't that crazy? All that playing, I can't even talk shop. We
remember.
could turn this into a gaming podcast.
No, I wouldn't
You were
even
addicted to
know.
video
I don't
games?
even. Oh, I can be. I'm not. I can be.
Does the addiction come outside? Is it just an addictive personality?
Oh, I'm
on
a
doing it?
totally addicted. Oh, totally. In anything and everything.
What are you addicted to now?
What am I addicted to?
You don't have to. No confessions. You don't have to say anything. that you don't want
What
to
am
say.
I addicted to now? I don't know. The gym, probably.
I'd like that.
To a degree.
No, I'd like that addiction. Please
To-
sign me up for that.
To a degree.
Put some lines of gym on a
Mhm.
table and a
But
mirror.
no,
Let me
listen,
snort
no
that gym.
addiction is, for me. No addiction is healthy.
That's
Any
just too
addiction
much.
can be unmanageable. Become unmanageable for me. Any addiction for me, because I can be.
Is it addiction or obsession?
Oh, it's addiction.
You get something out of it. It's that Megan used to tell me. It's
Yep.
that
Yep.
frontal lobe
Yep.
that gets all stimulated.
When you become unmanageable, that's an addiction. When I become unmanageable, or certain aspects of my life become unmanageable, that is an addiction.
You mean like it's okay? Well, I would say gaming and sitting down on my ass for 3 hours is when.
Or
I could be
if
doing
I'm
something
putting the
productive.
gym in front of things that I need to do every day to function, things like that. I mean, I'm not at that level, but anything that you are, you're creating an unmanageable sense of yourself.
Or every time you have a disagreement with your spouse, you just slam the door. I'm going to the gym. Going to the gym.
Well, that wouldn't be too bad, but
It's better than going to the bar. Call me at the bar.
yes, it is. So, of course, there's probably better addictions than others, of course. But in the end, if it's making me unmanageable, and so I'm surprised that my husband bought me this Nintendo. I don't even know what it is. But when he told me there's Zelda,
Yeah.
Metroid.
Wait. You got the NES Classic. They don't make-
Metroid,
I want to know
Mega
where he got it.
Man.
I wonder. Stop it. I got Mega Man right over there. I want to know where he got it.
Mega Man.
Because they Nintendo didn't make enough of those, and they're remaking them this summer. Yet whatever he got, they're $60 retail.
I don't know.
You definitely didn't pay $60 retail.
I don't know.
Do you know a guy?
We didn't get it yet.
Well, I'm jealous now. I know.
Well,
what you're
I don't
talking
know.
about.
Maybe
Ninja
it-
Gaiden, the game I was playing right there. That's on that too.
I don't.
I got Metroid upstairs. I got no Zelda though.
I would play Metroid. I had a Game Boy. I played it on my Game Boy. Mega Man, Metroid, Zelda,
You ever beat
Contra.
Contra too. You ever
I-
beat Metroid 3 times without dying, and suddenly she top comes off. Nice. You know that? You totally know that?
I
She's
don't
in a
know.
bathing
I
suit.
don't remember.
Who did that? They're like,
I don't remember
you know
that.
what? These kids will never
My
play this
memory's
3
awful.
times. I was really popular. in
Metroid
grade
was
school.
so much fun.
Metroid's cool. Where he runs like.
Oh my
some weird
god,
kinda
it's
run.
so much fun. And these were, I mean, I love those games, and so I'm surprised my husband bought. He has, after 15 years of marriage and being together for 20 years, he has faith in me. He has seen my growth and evolution that I can handle that being in the house.
That's cool.
He has more faith in me than I do.
And that's it. So in 2 months from now, when it comes in, I'll come to your house. You'll have huge bags under your eyes. Go away.
I would sit at the apartment. My husband would come home from work, and I'd sit in the apartment. I'd be in my PJs because I would have driven to my husband's. I mean, we were dating at the time, with like bowls around me, dishes,
Ew, gross.
and it was only like 5-6 hours or whatever.
Really?
And I was, and he was. I mean, he would laugh at me, but he was like, "This is a little." I was cutting school.
You ever play this?
That was not one of my.
Not a classic. I just picked up a.
It wasn't.
I know in the video you could see it, but a cartridge box of RC Pro-Am, which, by the way, I played RC.
I remember the name.
I played RC Pro-Am with my Power Glove.
Oh my god!
So the Power Glove comes out now in this day with technology, right? And they show this kid on the commercial with this awesome glove in his hand. And actually, the movie. Did you ever see the Wizard with Fred Savage?
I think I have.
Basically, the story is about autistic kid wins the Mario 3 brother championship, like Mario Brothers 3. That's the movie. But there's this, tough ass kid. He's got a mullet and he's got the Power Glove and he has like a briefcase. He pulls it out. Now, when you saw the Power Glove on the commercial, it had a guy like punching Mike Tyson, right? But when you get this shit home, I swear to God, it's like it's virtually wrapping you. The sensors on are bigger than this microphone. The sensors you have to Velcro to your television set. Like, now if you put...
Oh, got you.
Like,
I'm
Nintendo has a thing that you just, like for Nintendo Wii or something.
Yeah.
Just imagine taking your coffee machine and having to wrap it around the thing. And then you're like, wow, this is this? And then they have, I didn't know if my TV, I don't think was made for it. Like, it was made for like a 13-inch TV. 27-inch, 32-inch. It was a piece of shit. But you got it, and then it never sensed what you were trying to do. And then all you could do is you could set the A and B button for your middle finger and your index finger.
I don't remember this.
And just do this. Just do this. I'm playing Power Glove. Like, this is awesome.
God.
Playing Nintendo. Move your thumb for B. But it's garbage. Although, God, I wish I still had it because it was so fucking cool. Actually, we made a movie. My friends and I made we used to make movies on his dad's VHS, RCA VHS tape recorder. And I was a robot, and that was my hand. And we actually ran the credits. It was like 2044. I did that. I don't know where that is, but that's the shit I did. So when you were nerding out, filling your house up with dishes, I was trying to make...
Those are not my proud moments.
I was trying to make Hollywood. No, I don't have anything else. That's it. Oh, so if you talk about addiction, one thing I obsess about is I constantly... It's very hard for me to be in the moment, and when I talked about this on a previous show, because I'm constantly looking forward, right? Constantly looking forward, and constantly setting goals for myself that are either they usually are attainable, but sometimes
none of my goals are attainable.
They're lofty at times, but sometimes they're just
so
to-dos, right? Because I struggle with actually, I need to be productive all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're productive and you're constantly doing things, I think there's a lot of people around you that see you moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
They see you doing things.
I think so.
And then sometimes it's really hard. I try to put my foot on the brake and try to look at other people. Like, what are other people doing that are successful?
I do that.
But we were talking about this before. What I want to talk about on the show is, what are the times that you're challenged or times where people saw you very differently than you might have seen your successes? Like you...
Daily.
Okay, well, all right, there's the show then. Give me 4 o'clock today. Can you do that for me?
So
where's it come from? I would love to know specific, but really, where does that come from?
I think that's a personality trait, number one.
Just a trait, though? Just a trait. Does that come from a time when...
I don't know. That's always how I've been.
I started reading this book that Chuck Garrity, he was on episode 72 or 73. And we have a full library, guys. You can go listen to the show. This whole thing's a journey, so it's funny. I don't listen to the show, but if you listen to it, tell me how it sounds different from episode 1 to episode 75. The book he talked about was this thing called The 4 Agreements.
Oh, I've read it.
Oh, you did? Ooh.
But I probably don't remember all of it.
Oh, I love it. It's so good.
It's a great book. And I was just told recently to read it again.
I want to read it slowly. I'll read it on the plane tomorrow. I want to... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
okay.
Allison. I just got through the first agreement.
It's awesome.
What did you, when you read it the first time? This book's really about 4 ways to, what's the word? Kind of in a nutshell, we are all living a dream, okay? We live a dream when we sleep, and we also live a dream when we're awake. But we hyper-focus on one specific piece of that dream when we're awake, and that really is somewhat created by the world around us as we grow up. It's dictated by our family, friends, and it also gets into how we view ourselves versus how the world views us. But it gives these 4 agreements. These agreements are ways to shape the dream around you. And one of the is be impeccable. Be impeccable to others. and now I'm the one that don't assume anything. And Chuck went through he rifled through it, and there's a few books that on episodes, I hate this, I can't remember, 73, that Chuck, and we put them in the show notes too, that you guys can find links to these books. And I'll put another link to the 4 agreements. But I know you're approaching 27. I'm approaching, I just turned 42, and now I really truly, just like with the video game thing, right? I just can't, I swear I convinced myself, I'm like, I'm going to be awesome. I'm going to be 60. And I'm going to be gaming, and I'm going to be a badass, and I'm going to be online. And now I have no taste for it because I've convinced myself that it's not really that important. So now I'm trying to go through my life right now and trying to decide and make conviction.
I feel like we do what makes us feel good. Obviously, that stopped feeling good, and so you stopped.
But I'm having a tough time finding things that, well, no, I wouldn't say that, because then that would, I put a lot of time and energy into this.
It makes you feel good.
But would you believe that, you think it's 200 episodes, right? Right. I'll hit 100 at the end of this year. And then...
Well, that's a goal.
It is. Well,
that's a goal.
It is. But the reason why I didn't pick 100 as an end, because I thought 100 would be easy. 4 years? Easy. No, 4 years. And then... But
that's just a goal, regardless.
It is.
We do what makes us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
All
right, so
we take time to do the things that make us feel good.
So we talked about addiction, right? Right? No, that's what you do, right? Like video games made me feel good when I played.
Right, but then it came to an end. It didn't make you feel good.
No, I had to make a choice.
But something in you didn't feel good anymore, or else you'd probably still be
on my ass for 3
whatever
hours.
it was. It didn't feel good something didn't feel good to motivate you. Why do we change?
The games didn't.
Pain.
But the games. Yeah, I agree with you. It's pain or benefit. I always look at that. That's how people change.
For me,
right?
it's pain.
Well, pain is usually the easiest way to do it. Benefit takes a long time. That's a lot of selling yourself. Me, I'm not a very good negotiator. I'm not. I'm not very good at selling.
Yeah,
actually, when I talk this cult I was part of. That I talked about, this sales company that I talked about on this a few shows. I think it was 23, 27, and you guys could go back and find it. It's called my first job as a salesman. I sucked at sales, right? Sucked at sales. I'm still trying to figure out why they kept me around. So I'm not very good at.
They probably saw something else in you, obviously.
I want to know what that is. I'm going to figure out what that is.
I don't think you have that anymore. What they saw in you probably isn't there anymore.
Oh, wow. What about you're a buzzkill? I was like, man, I could be searching for something that I'm going to find. I'm like, really?
No, I think that maybe you were just very naive, and now you're not.
Oh, but I am. I'm very naive. I'm extremely naive. Here's my thing. And now I know we're going into tangents, because it's what the show's all about, right? There's 2 types of people in this world. People always say that, right?
There's only 2.
There's only 2 types. Put them in a bucket.
Okay.
There's 2 types of people. Some people, when they see someone, they immediately don't trust them. They put them in a box. That person, I heard some stuff about them. And actually, the 4 Agreements talks about that, how people do that around you, can dictate how you view the world just simply by putting a virus in your head that says, this person's bad. But most people that look at people and say, something's wrong with that guy or girl, and she's an asshole or he's an asshole. Eventually, when that person ends up doing something, which is funny because now I'm saying this out loud after reading that book, it's validation. So those people usually are more vindicated than they are anything else. So if I meet you, Allison, I go, you know what? I don't trust her. Something about her, blah, 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 blah. And then you finally do something that I don't trust. See, I tell everybody, see, I told you. You guys didn't listen to me. I told you couldn't trust her. Then the flip-flop is me. It's the bucket I'm in. Every time I meet somebody, I always try to see the potential in others. And I'm not saying that that's cheesy, right? But I, honest to God, would rather be judged on this earth as being someone that sees that than someone that sees the alternate. The only problem is when they do something, all you do is feel disappointment and your expectations are let down. The other person that never has that, they have no expectations. They've lowered them so low that, see, you're a piece of shit and I knew you'd be a piece of shit. Instead, no one's a piece of shit.
Well,
no matter
I'm
how
that way.
far. What?
I'm that way. I'm like you.
Okay. I thought maybe you were going to say the other one.
No.
And then crush me.
I am naive.
I'm naive.
I'm very naive. And I always see the best in people.
Man, I'm disappointed all the time.
Am I?
Why is that?
Why
No,
are
I'm
you
not
disappointed?
asking. I think my expectations of people are too high. Even of
well,
myself.
that's the obvious reason. But do you? Yeah, the expectations are where you go wrong. Zero expectations.
I'm fine. I'm getting there. It takes a lot of time. But then...
Eventually, it's not going to feel good.
Yeah, there's a fear that then I'll be apathetic and just be like, ugh, I don't really care. I'm not... Even attacking this year, right? I'd love to be like, you know what? I just want to go through the year and go, yeah, whatever. Let me wing it.
Well, it's not.
Instead, I'm like, what am I going to do in February? Like,
well, that's
what?
how I mean, that's someone
15th.
that's purposeful, ambitious, isn't that? That's someone who has goals.
But isn't a curse though?
I will never look at that as a curse, as though there's days where it feels like a curse. Overall, it's what drives me, or it helps my drive.
But to what end, though?
I don't know.
Why do I need to accomplish? Like I talked about, I think it was my last mini-sode about what I accomplished this year, and I had like 4 big things, podcast things. I probably accomplished other things, but I talked about those things that stuck out. But deep down, they were accomplishments, but did they really matter to anybody?
Does that matter?
That's what I'm asking. Does it? Question mark? Does it?
No. Does it matter to you?
But I did it. I don't know if it matters to me in the sense that I set out to, like, that's what I wanted to do.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel like I have a collection of experiences that I've grown from and I can build on. There are some times when, like, I've gotten accolades from accomplishing certain things last year where I don't look at them and go, man, I'm the fucking shit. Like, I'm awesome. But I can't, you know what?
I'm not going to do that.
That's what I want. I would love. That's what I want for
Therapy.
2018.
Go to therapy.
No, this is therapy. What are you talking about? I have therapists that listen to this. I get this for free. They call me up and go, hey, man, this is what I think.
Yeah, but
no, I'm just kidding.
I have friends that, it was just this weekend, and I was looking over my goals, and, being in the day planner business, I need to be hustling the beginning of the year, and I usually take the week off. As a photographer, I take the week off between Christmas and New Year's, and I really shouldn't have, in my eyes, I need to be hustling every day. A new business.
But why does it matter that you didn't? Why? What did you lose?
I don't know.
You know why? Because then I'm trying to
I don't
convince
know
myself.
what I lost because I didn't hustle the way I wanted to. But my husband's like, this is our week together. I said, babe, I've started a new business now. It's not just photography anymore. And so this is the time of year where I need to be hitting the pavement. And I did some things, but I didn't do nearly as much as I wanted to.
Oh, of course you didn't.
And so I felt mediocre. And
such a bad. Excuse me.
That's the perfect word for me because it is such a terrible word. I don't want to be mediocre ever. And
there's
times where I'm going to be mediocre, and it's okay as long as I'm
but
doing my
to what?
best.
That's my thing. I keep
to
doing.
Me to what's in my head as far as not being mediocre.
Is that why most successful people surround themselves with successful people? So they're constantly.
Well, I feed off of other.
So do I.
Drive and ambition.
But then I know people that just don't. Are they happier?
They don't have any drive, or they don't.
No, they drive. They just don't. They don't sit and go, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to do this. I can do that, and I'm going to put all my mental energy.
I don't know what
that.
the difference is between someone that does feel and think that and someone that doesn't. I don't know. As long as people are happy, someone's happy. Just
Allison, what's happy? This whole thing is like a search for. That's one thing I just.
But listen, we all make choices based on how we feel. Our feelings are what drive us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so if someone feels good, I don't know, should I say setting smaller goals or
I want to look more
not challenging themselves in ways that are unthinkable, where some people are willing to do that. I don't know. But as long as at the end of the day you're happy with your choices and who you are, fuck it.
I'm struggling with that. Not that I'm unhappy.
And I'm just speaking for...
What's that happiness? What's that happiness of you racing home to play, kick someone's ass in NBA Street, and me leaving class on that day when I thought it was okay to play Tomb Raider, the first Tomb Raider in 1998.
See, and I play... But I remember, even Punch-Out and...
Dude, you're hardcore. I like that. You're
I
kicked gamer. But you never played RC Prime. Yeah, what about Tecmo Bowl? You ever play Tecmo Bowl? Come on, then you Tecmo Bowl?
Know.
What about Ring Kings? Ring Kings was cool. It was a boxing game where two guys with afros and mustaches would box each other. But the trick was, and this is before the internet, you get a spoon and you take the A and B button, and all you do is go like that. The whole game, you just rub the spoon. You get the spoon, buddy.
Oh, how did you find this out?
Someone talked to somebody. You talked to somebody. That was the internet back then.
That was like, look at Contra. You know, how did you know the secret?
And now
up,
now
down,
they get on
down. Yeah, because it was classic.
You know, I played that
I'll
game
never
3
forget
times without
it.
dying, and I just got bored.
Well, I mean, when you have so many men.
Well, then, what you ever watch? I mean, you know, they have
I would love to
online.
play
They have
it
the
today,
speed runs.
God.
Go online and go speed run, and they'll have someone that plays the whole game, and they'll have a counter at the bottom. They can get through the whole game. How fast they can get through it? 10 minutes. That game's only like 15 minutes long. That took me like 8 hours to beat. 15 minutes. I don't know that much free time.
Contra.
Yeah. I got it upstairs. It's great. All right, so games, video games. Okay, when you look at this year, right? That's funny. I thought we were going to talk about goals, and now it's just about feelings. Do you look at every year differently as the year before? Like, I'm going to be better this year, but I think it goes in ebbs and flows. Like, how do you keep getting better? That's my problem. How do you get better and better and better and better?
I don't know. Well, starting a new business, the sky's the limit. Being in business for as long as I've been in photography, it's stepping outside of my comfort zone and, you know, doing sessions that I normally wouldn't do, and model calls of sessions that I might be scared of, learning new technology.
And it's technology. Cameras have changed a lot since you started. Now, I didn't even say before.
Certain lighting and...
When I introduced you earlier, I didn't tell my audience what you do. Allison Gallagher is the creator of weareladypreneur.com, where she has created this unbelievable organizer that my wife and I use called the Ladypreneur Life Planner.
Life Organizer.
Life Organizer and Day Director.
Day Director.
It's that thing. I forget that piece.
That's okay.
But it's on my counter, and I use it.
And that's the most important.
And also has been in photography for what? In Allison Ann Studios.
2005.
Okay, 2005. And
my business changed names in 10 years, so 2015. But I started in 2005.
On our YouTube channel, we just posted. I had the opportunity to create. Those videos cool. They worked out. I got to get the other ones. These on there. Some of them didn't all work.
That's okay.
Some of the off-camera stuff.
Listen, we're going to do more events.
Some of the off-camera stuff.
Right. That's okay.
And you know the whole black and white thing was just to cover up a mistake I made on the camera?
Who cares?
Isn't that great, though? And you were like,
love
it's
it.
amazing. I was like,
I love it.
damn it.
But I get it.
Talk about being I was like, I got to do this. This is it. I have to make this like I am like
But your
Spielberg
honesty is so awesome.
Where?
That you made a mistake and you covered it up.
Oh my God, no, I'm all mistakes. I'll tell you about 10 or 12 of them before we even leave here. All the mistakes I made. I made the mistake of drinking this tea, Pier 1 tea. It really smells like Pier 1. I'd have you smell it, but that would be weird, like really weird. Here, smell my tea. So, when you look at your business, do you have to conquer the world every year, or can you just...
Well, I've been in business long enough to know that doesn't happen for me. Some people are far more successful in my eyes in less time. And so for me, what I've learned is everything is, slow and steady wins the race. And that's how
That can't work for you, though.
It does.
You have a sense
it
of
has
urgency?
to. I do. But I've learned that there's small bricks that I'm putting in a very large wall. And so every little success is that little brick that's building the foundation of a business that I want to have for a long time.
Okay.
It took me years to get to that point of appreciation of all those small things because, so far there's no big breaks. And I've been disappointed over and over again thinking this is the next big break. Oh my God, this phone call, this is it. And it's not it. It usually ends up in me losing a lot of money and it's a hard lesson. So now I take things slow. I try not to get caught up in the, expectations of that this is it. I've made it. It's just slow and steady, breathe in, breathe out, and longevity hopefully will come. And every year I hope to grow, so it's easy for me to say with a new business, Allison Studios, it's, changing things around. There's a ton of competition out there.
But there's only one Allison Gallagher. You know that, right? Do you know that you're kind of a brand? Do you know
I'm learning
that?
that.
But do you know that?
That's what
I see
any
people's
business
responses
owner wants.
Yeah, but there's other photographers in town that people don't go, hey, and talking about.
It's an odd feeling when I'm in a room and a lot of more people know me that I know, or I'm talking to someone who.
Look at how I met you.
Right.
I knew the being who was Allison Gallagher, and
Right.
you stalked me for a whole weekend.
Oh yeah.
True story. I don't know if I told that on.
I don't
For
know.
those of you who
I don't
missed
think
it.
you did.
So there was one weekend. I don't know. It was the weekend that Vinyl Brewing opened. It's a Vinyl Brewing is
We were at
a
Andy's.
brewery in our town, and you were on the other side, and I saw you, and I'd seen your artwork before, and I'd seen a picture of you, and there's not a lot of people that look like you, Allison. So I'm like, that's Allison. I said to Meg, I'm like, that's nice. I grabbed my phone. I'm like, that's Allison. Oh yeah, she's
that's like the greatest thing
She's
ever.
so and such a sister-in-law. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to go over and say hi because that'd be weird
Megan,
and
yeah.
creepy.
Right.
That'd be weird and creepy. So we went to breakfast the next day, and there you were with your daughter and your husband in the corner again.
That is hilarious.
And I didn't think I said anything to Meg when we were at Vinyl, but when we were at the breakfast place, I said to Meg, she's there. Should I walk over? And I'm like, nah, that's just. It's weird though that she's at breakfast now. And then later on that night, you were at Vinyl again, where I'm like, this is freaking weird. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. So I grabbed my phone, and I swear that I want you to know, I teetered on like, am I complimentary or a creepy asshole? So I was like looking at, I was like, okay, I'm going to send this. Like she could be like, ugh.
Oh, the message.
I don't know you. I didn't know you.
Yeah.
You could be like, ugh, fucking weirdo.
No, because I do get that. I don't want to say a lot, but there are times where people come up to me.
I'm not the first one to ever do that.
There's people come up to me and my husband's with me and, you took pictures of so-and-so or whatever it is. It's always very nice. And I'm always super grateful, that someone would take the time to compliment me or my work or thank me, or I'm so grateful every moment of every day that I get to do what I love. And so, you're always grateful but it's people know me that someone at the gym, I was working out at 5 a.m. and one of the girls at the gym I was working out with, I didn't know who she was. She had purchased my planner.
Cool. Like
did not know who she was.
Like that.
And we were trying to go back and forth with her picking it up. And she's like, by the way, you have 2 planners sitting waiting for me to pick up. I said, I will bring them to the gym. But I didn't. I'm talking to her, and I had no idea who she was. Meanwhile, she knows all about me. It's an interesting dynamic, but it definitely keeps me humble. I'm humbled by it, and I just am so grateful that someone would take the time to purchase my product, or compliment my work, or hire me, or some ask me questions about photography or questions about their camera. A lot of times I can't answer them, or iPhone pictures. I'm like, I have no idea. But
you know what I struggle with? I don't deserve it. That's my problem.
Yeah, well, I've always been that. My mom always said.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
My mom always said that I'm so hard on myself. We
got a lot of people that listen to the show, and I still say to myself, I don't deserve that. Like I don't know. That's bad. But it's not that. Is it? It's
that's the hamster. You got to change the wheel.
That's what I'm trying. I'm working on it. 2018. Come on.
You got to put the tape up on the mirror.
You have to say
with
it
your
out loud. That's deep. I don't think I ever
read yourself some affirmations.
Did I ever share that? I might have shared that on the show.
Now we talk about, is that a personality trait or is that how we were raised, and which goes back to the 4 agreements. But where do you think that comes from?
Yeah, it could. Well,
I've always not measured up.
Cuts. The only person that in my family that's really been vocal about what I've accomplished is my grandmother. Not my father, not my mother. Nobody else. Can I tell you a story? It's really now that
Sure.
we're really sharing. This was back in college. I don't think Meg would mind me sharing this. I was at her house, and I can't remember if it was. I excelled in college, so I taught myself lacrosse. So I started on the lacrosse team, and the only reason why I just worked harder than everybody. I ran 3 miles before practice. I didn't smoke pot before practice, which made me I never got winded, and I always stayed late with the best players, and I always got early to throw around with the best players.
Well, that's what makes
But I didn't know anything else other than
successful.
that, right? And it paid off. And then I had a reality check, a gut check from my coach, which was awesome when I thought I was too good, for the team. That was bad, but that's a life lesson that I had. And I talked about that on a mini-sode I did a while back when I went to my coach, Phil Avillo. They dedicated a wing of the sports complex to him. So my whole team, after 20 years, all got back together, and it's like we were together forever. But
that's awesome.
It wasn't my coach that really had a lot to do with my success. It was each player had their own space. Each team member had added value in my growth on the team. Anyway, we're in college, and I don't know if it was because I had my senior show. I placed in my senior show. I was in a band. I played drums in a band. They played clubbing. So if you came out, you'd see me playing, a country ditty to White Wedding. We played Billy Idol's White Wedding, a country song.
It's a great song.
And that was the only cover we really did. And we played Steppin' Stone by the Monkees. That was the only other one, but heavy. Anyway, we were in bed, and my wife, I don't know how she said it, but she said, "I'm proud of you." I cried for an hour. I don't know what happened.
Wow.
But I started crying. And she's like, "This was the best. Nothing makes you more sexy." To your new girlfriend. When she says, I remember the context she said, but I just started bawling. And she goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Just hold me." And I cried. And that was this weird thing because no one had ever said that to me. Maybe it was just she was projecting it on me, and that was something that I was dealing with. You asked me like where it comes from. I was raised by a father that never protected. He just made sure that I stayed in my place, and he was very low. Like my dad, alcoholic, just the word loser and dweeb was used a lot, even when my friends were over. So I don't know, but yet I was constantly, think of it this way. You're in a hole, and people are constantly throwing wet sand on top, and you're not mad at them. All you do is keep trying to fight to get above the sand. And every time you stand on more wet sand, even though there's still more coming on your shoulders, you're like, I'm above it. And I had gone to a counselor after 9/11 for like 2 sessions. The company paid for like 3 of them. It was cool. Employee assistance programs, by the way, everybody. If you got them at your company, they're free. Try them out. Like, they really help. Like, this thing actually helped me find housing for my grandmother. It didn't cost me anything.
Damn.
It's part of the benefit program that my company had. So, kept throwing the sand on me, and I never realized what he was doing until I went to this counselor. And after one visit, she said it was I gave her my life story. I mean, there's someone that would listen. Like everything I've shared, like I've shared a lot of stuff on this podcast. Just imagine everything I've jammed into an hour, like 150 episodes in an hour. And she said after she listened, and after she gave me some homework, she said, "Well, your father is this big, and all he's trying to do is make you this big." And I didn't actually, not till I went to college did I excel, because when I was in high school, I hated high school because every day I went home, straight A's, whatever it was, honors classes. It wasn't good enough. Always just not good enough. And he wasn't even like encouraging about it. It was just not good enough. I mean, he was like a very old school. My father's in his 80s. It's a very old school senior mentality. Maybe his dad was hard on him, and he
learned it from somewhere.
Yeah. So I think I'm conditioned to think in a way that it's not good enough. Now, mind you, it's always that's the thing. It's allowed me to excel and grow, but yet eventually it's going to get to a point where it's somewhat damaging.
You don't know that. What's going to be damaging? What's going to be damaging?
I just want to stop and look at the goals from last year, the things I accomplished, and everything I want to do this year, and just be a pig in shit and celebrate. Like, it's so hard for me to celebrate.
Make a choice and do it. Give yourself a few hours. It doesn't have to be weeks or months.
No, you're right.
Give yourself a dinner. Give yourself
that I do. It's not that. I think I go through the motions. I think I'm trying to find something when I do it. Oh, yeah, great. I had a great day at work. I'm going to go and do this. Am I just doing this? And maybe it could be a personality trait. Yeah, people wouldn't see that, right? You see me on video, you hear me on my podcast, right?
Right.
There's a lot of troubled stuff in here. Like, that's
you know what? Maybe you are genuinely accepting your success, but your dad's in there saying it's just not good enough. Maybe
I don't even know if it's his voice anymore.
No, and it may not be, but it's what you're conditioned to say to yourself.
Almost like to a point where I've excelled in setting goals and accomplishing them year after year after year. I mean, I've had obstacles that I've gone through every year. because, like you said, there are ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
But is that right? Ebbs and flows? Is that saying that right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Cool.
I
There's
think
always
so.
at least one word on the show that I'm like, I guess that makes
Well,
sense.
my vocabulary's not great,
Oh,
so
don't pull
I
out
will
your phone.
fuck up a word.
All right, great. But every time I look at this year, and I don't think, I'll be a full year at my new job in March. Everything's going great at work.
That's
the
great.
show's doing great.
It's a good feeling.
I have shows planned out for this, and hopefully other really weird topics we can share. But it's not. I don't know. I thrive off other people's successes, and I don't really thrive off my own. I really get excited seeing other people win, but I can never, because people let me know. Like, I've met a lot of people doing this, and people are so encouraging for this show, and I make connections during this because that's what it's all about. But it's I'll be honest, it's hard because my brain will go, really. I mean, it's that they really do, like, really, rather than going, oh, embrace it. And I might go through the motions of doing that, but I want to be like on cloud, like it's not happy. I guess, because then if it's not happiness, then I'm not happy, which I'm not. What's not happy? Unhappy, but I'm not. I'm just constantly like, that's great, awesome, keep moving. That's great, all right, cool.
Well,
that's yesterday.
I mean, I do the same thing. I understand what you're saying, but I came from parents that always spoke about being proud of me. I always heard how proud they were of me. My dad always told me how proud. My father was a very, very, very successful entrepreneur. But I feel it was always my personality to just not be good enough. I don't know what happened as a child that I never felt I measured up at all, ever, to anyone. But that's all I did was compare myself to other people. At one point, I was like, I can be better than that guy. I can be better than that girl. Nope, now it's just as good as they are. Well, who else can I be better at? Yeah, no, I was always, I was never
and that's less
as
now.
good.
That's less now.
I'm going to be 40, and so I've evolved.
40? I thought you said 27. What?
Yes.
I can put 27 in
40.
there. I can put just 27 every time you say it.
Totally do that.
27.
I am embracing 40 like I've never embraced age before.
40 is the new teens.
Dude.
Everybody goes
amazing.
back. Everybody feels and looks. I don't, because I was feeling 20 up till I was 38. And then now, but my wife's
funny.
like,
My husband.
But you filled in, and I don't feel strong. I want to feel stronger physically.
Well, my husband's a physical. He's a labor in a union, and so he has a very physical job. And the last year and a half, he's feeling his.
Not young.
I don't want to say his age. My husband is fit.
How old's your husband, if you don't mind?
He's 40.
Okay.
But his job is very physical, and he's feeling things he's never felt before, and so he
groans
has
when he gets
slowed
up,
down a little bit because he's got to have so many years in the union. His body has to last, so because he used to kill himself at work. My husband, we've learned this over the years. He has to physically work hard, physically every day to feel fulfilled. That's who he is.
How about this? I used to feel that way until we hired a cleaning lady. And now I spend, it to a point the kids hated it because I would spend the whole Saturday cleaning the house. And now, my house is pretty clean, right?
Yeah,
today
it's spectacular.
But we clean the house for the cleaning lady.
Oh, well, I do that.
She vacuums all the dog hair and everything. But
I do that. It's got to be straightened for them to clean. I
She might
clean
think
to
we're
straighten.
But
so that they can get where they need to get.
But that was very hard to do. I pushed back for a whole year. I'm like, no, our rule was, Meg, we're not going to buy a house that's so big we can't clean it ourselves. And I'm like, well, I could really use those 3 hours every Saturday. So now
to spend with your family,
now we
or
do that, yeah.
rest, or.
But I was selfish. I feel fulfilled by being productive.
Yeah,
I mean, this show takes a lot, like doing things for the show now.
Yeah.
But yet before it was like, what can I straighten up? What closet can I organize? I need to cut boxes in the garage. Now I just taught myself, you know what? Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll just do it tomorrow. That not that I'm becoming a chronic procrastinator, but what's
there's
more important?
balance.
What's more? That's the hardest thing, right?
Sure. Work-life balance.
All I want is a year of balance, where there's just as much positives as there is negatives. But is that going to really happen in 2018?
No one knows.
Why can't I just go day by day rather than just having
balance doesn't necessarily mean equally good and bad. Balance means feeling peaceful. That's a choice. Feeling peaceful is a choice that we make.
But don't we choose something to feel peaceful about?
Yeah, they're choices.
Let me throw a disclaimer in the podcast here because we're going real deep here. I'm not manic depressive, okay? Like, this is starting to sound like I'm like,
No, I think
I'm
you're just being
searching.
honest.
But as we get older, we have a lot more time and less distractions to constantly think about. Like, I never thought about my age until I hit an age that I thought about.
Well, 40 is a distinct age.
But yet, when you were in your 20s, you never looked at
No.
like, oh, I know a bunch of I didn't know any 40-year-olds. They were my friends' parents.
They were old.
They were old. And now it's like some of the coolest people I know are in their 40s.
Dude.
In their
Well,
50s.
that's how it was when our parents were in their 40s. They were in the prime of their life.
And
I believe my parents were in the prime of their life when they were my age.
my father had me when he was 40. So I never got to throw the ball. My father threw the ball with me once. Once. It was weird. I don't even know how that happened. I just vividly in my head, like 4 throws, and I was like, thanks, Mom. Okay.
And so, but
We had a lot of
was,
surrogates. I had a lot of surrogate parents.
but he was 40, so what, so.
I mean, I remember he's 55. We forgot his birthday. Did I ever tell you that story? Well, of course I didn't tell you that story. I never told anybody. We used to spend summers at my grandmother's. So we were never home for my dad's birthday.
Summer?
Yeah, never home for my dad's birthday. But the one summer we were home, we forgot his birthday.
Did it affect him?
Not until we threw like a surprise birthday for him the next day.
I don't think my dad wouldn't have cared about that.
Well, it was weird. I don't even know if he was upset or not. See, that's the thing with my father. See how I'm very vocal and
Talk about your feelings and
right. Take that away. Like, just take it away. That's my dad.
yeah.
So just
Well, I
imagine
think
trying to
there's a
live with
lot-
someone like that. Where
There's a lot of men that are that
so
way.
how do you get, reinforcement of what success looks like? As from an outsider, if if the person doesn't speak to you, like I fished for it. I tried to. Like you said, I have to make the choice to be peaceful, and there are peaceful times. I mean, I definitely put too much pressure on myself at work, and I'll continue to do that but I have to know when it happens, and that's why that book, The 4 Agreements, is really helpful because it's making. I'm actually at a pinnacle point in my life right now where that podcast was so great with Chuck Garrity at Death of the Fox Brewing because you should have seen me. Like if there was a video camera on me in that podcast, that would have been like my face. I was like, just keep talking. This is the greatest. And I started reading when he left. He sent me links. That was probably one of my most personal podcasts because it was something that I had never heard before. He was preaching to me. Now you're saying this now, and that's even, you're a practitioner, so that's important. But I when you look at the year and you want to get through it, that's weird that I say get through it because it's all just numbers it's all on a calendar. It's really, we do everything. Why can't I just make February 1st my new year? Why can't I start over every day?
Sure.
But in the way the world works,
You can, though. Go ahead. I
you
understand
can.
what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I understand
But you have a
what
New
you're
Year's
saying.
resolution and you do this, and that's the topic of the show.
Right. Oh, yeah.
See, we go back.
That's right.
I want to end up in a better place than I was before, but better could just be different rather than just better, right? It could be, this could all go away, and I could work at a floral shop, and that would be.
Well, what
knows?
I've learned about myself is I don't know what makes me happy. Everything I thought my life was going to be, I would have been miserable. And everything I never thought I wanted, I got, and I'm happy.
But see, miserable to me is that hole getting wet sand dumped on my shoulders, and all I'm doing is climbing up. So I don't know. Miserable is a normal to me. That's the other thing the therapist told me.
I don't know what you mean.
2 things she said. One was, your father felt this big and he made you this big. But she also said that everyone's normal was here. Your normal was way down here. So just you getting above that normal felt like an accomplishment. But you never knew what that normal was. We joke, it's the holidays just passed. You know the first holiday I spent with my wife, I actually got presents from people I didn't even know. Do you know how floored I was? I was like, you don't even know who I am. I remember what they were. A Sports Illustrated swimsuit calendar, a pair of Phillip and Flathead green-handled screwdrivers, and socks.
Are these from her family?
No, her cousins. where we went to Pittsburgh, all the way to Pittsburgh. You know, that's not. I went Christmases where there was no presents, like maybe one thing, or it's a tough Christmas. You know, Santa didn't come this year, or whatever. I mean, it really happened. There were some where my crazy aunt Susan maxed out 2 credit cards and we had a refrigerator box full of shit. Like there were those things too. That's a whole podcast I love to do. My grandmother's sister, she's psycho, total psycho. But sorry, there's a warrant out for arrest. I'll show you. I know. Isn't it crazy? Look at how balanced I am and how peaceful I am.
She's alive?
I think so. On the run, on the lam. I don't know what they call it.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
That's great. I got a lot of it's great. Holidays are great because none of my family shows up. So that's what they said, that my normal was here. So my normal is usually a struggle. It has to be a struggle, because then that's how you show your mettle.
I think that you should be in therapy. I'm sorry.
Okay. But if I'm aware of it and just dealing, don't you cope with anything like that? Like, it's not holding me back at all.
Yeah, but I'm in therapy.
Oh, okay, great. So you can be the name of the therapist. Sweet. All right, cool. Is it worth it? Is it really worth doing?
Oh my! Listen, there's acknowledgement of our, I want to say trait, but there's acknowledgement of how we've been conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
There's an acknowledgement, and then there's the ability to change it.
So is it wrong that I'm
You're
trying to do
not-
that to myself by
Yes.
reading a book? That's a lot of work.
I don't think you're
Okay.
going to be able to do it.
Is that covered by my health insurance?
Probably.
I hope so, right?
It could be, but
Mental health?
I feel you're old enough and you've seen enough in your experiences that if you still are not able to
No.
change it.
No. That'd be cool. Okay, good. Thanks for that. I didn't know that's my goal this year is to go to a therapist. 2018 therapy year. I would love to. By the way,
I think it's spectacular.
I mean, I make a living also hearing other people's problems and providing them solutions, and that wears on you after a while. But I never look at myself, and almost to a point where people.
I mean, I feel like you are. What's the word?
Oh, cool.
You're
Label me.
deflecting is what you're doing.
Oh no, projecting.
No, you're deflecting. So you're helping others so that you don't have to look at yourself.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't. I push people away. That's why this is so important. You know that, right, Allison?
Right.
Like really deep down, I'm looking at you right now. Deep down. It took me a long time. Remember, I told my wife that. I teared up at dinner because I said it out loud. She didn't even notice. Like, I just said it out loud. I push people away. I think it's because growing up, being my mother.
Well, anybody hurt you.
and
Your closest people
just
hurt
push
you.
them away.
Sure.
That was so scary about doing this. You know how hard it's a conscious effort to bring people in, here.
It's a.
Look at how many excuses. And again, I'm sociable. That's the hard part.
You are.
I'm approachable and sociable.
Very
people
much
like
so.
to be. Now people like to be around me at times, which is great. And sometimes I don't acknowledge it, but yet sometimes I'd rather be alone, because I can protect myself from dealing with anybody else, dealing with loss again, dealing with anything like that. Because every time I've done that, it's done nothing but just take something away.
Well, I feel like you have to get through the pain to get through the other side, and so
the pain to me is not pain.
the pain of the past and how you're conditioned.
I said goodbye to a lot of stuff with my dad. I did that. I was very angry. I was very angry.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not-
sure there was
not
a
angry.
ton of resentment.
Not angry anymore. When I realized he was
Right,
just a
but
man who did the best he
now
could.
it's time for you to evolve and be who you want to be.
So go into my cocoon. Is it cocoon? They do it? Not cocoon, right?
Right, but
Chrysalis?
that's the opposite of what you should do.
Oh yeah, cocoons. Sorry. My hermit crab shell.
In
Whatever.
my opinion,
All right. Get out of the hole with the sand in it.
I think that you are old enough and have you know yourself so well,
Mhm.
so change it.
Okay. But I'm going to need some help. That's
If
cool.
you can't change it,
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of
But I
work.
didn't realize that you can do that. Like
It's a lot of work.
But thank you for sharing that with me. I
Yeah.
thought maybe I'd be the only one. They're like, who else do you talk to in town? Are they in town or I have to
No,
go?
they're not in town.
Is it better to do that?
I have no idea.
Can't you just go to Rocco's, talk to the bartender? What's his
Probably.
name, Scott or something? Hey, Scott.
Ashley.
Well, Ashley, I know Ashley too. Be like, yeah, I want to tell you my problems. I was like that. I've never been a bartender. I'd love to be. See, again,
I was a
there's me.
bartender.
I'd love to be
Fun.
that guy hearing people's problems.
Oh, right.
Hey,
right,
pal, how was your day at work? Wow, Allison. A show that we were going to tackle. We did, though. We did, right? So.
We didn't.
Well,
Did
then it's
we?
all- well, here the thing is, before we were talking about upstairs about, even though we accomplish all these things, sometimes it's very hard to acknowledge those things. But usually, it's that time of the year, in the beginning of the year, when you start setting all these objectives, right? I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to do this.
I rambled some off. Sure.
Right. So you do all those things.
Rambled some off.
And then it's up to you whether or not you're going to accomplish those goals. But even if you did, you look back and you go, well, were they worthy goals? Did they really matter? Did they really change anything? It was just to get through the year. Like, I look at New Year's resolutions as just to get...
Well, okay, so my New Year's resolutions are nothing mind-blowing. They're more just like a shift. I kept on my goals. I kept on the path of my goals all year, personally and professionally. So now what I do is I reassess. Okay, I kind of stepped off a little bit here. Let me get on that path nice and clean, because I might have stepped off a little bit. I'm not over there as far as my goal. I'm still in the vicinity, but I just kind of tweak to make sure it's a nice clean path. That's how I am with my goals. I don't know what other people do. Like, some people, haven't worked out for 20 years and now they're like, okay, I'm going to the gym, and they might do that every year and they last 30 days. I don't know.
My goals are more I look at
but I'm definitely going to write down some things that are, I just watched this video on Facebook. This girl did something she was scared of every day for like 90 days, and it was some scary shit. Hold a tarantula, skydiving, crazy shit. But I'm like, I can write down 10, 12 things that I'm petrified to do and do them. It's not going to be jumping out of an airplane. But
rather than being scared, what about just being a little discomfort?
Yeah. Okay. But that's what I mean. Something that...
But I always do that, Allison.
The fear of the unknown.
I'm always about doing things, expanding my comfort zone, and that way you grow.
That's just going to make me a stronger person.
It's a heavy show, by the way. You got me thinking about a lot of things.
Why? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What did you just say?
You got me... I'm thinking about a lot of stuff.
Oh.
Like, when these mics shut off, man, I'll be staring at my ceiling, the blankets up to my chin, going, why? Why is this all me?
I just told the world I'm in therapy.
No, whatever.
Yeah.
It's one thing, too.
Dude, I'm so
people
human.
spend so much time on that. No, I never even thought of that as an option.
Therapy?
Never.
Fantastic.
Is it like once a week?
No.
Oh.
I don't. You can go as much as you want,
so like
but that's not how I. That's
like
how much I
$700
go.
an hour? Don't they charge like?
I have no idea. I have insurance.
You know what I really like? This is what I would look forward in therapy. Well, our hour's about to end. We'll just wait till next time. Like, that's what I want to hear. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
My husband's like, you talked about me the whole time, didn't you? And I'm like, no.
No,
I hardly ever talk about my husband.
I talk about me. I talk
about
my problems are my problems.
I talk about getting myself right in my head, beating myself up over this, beating myself up over something I did with my daughter, or I'm not present, or how do I discipline her, or I got this going on with her, how should I handle it? And I get advice. I get advice on how to be a better parent sometimes, by someone that is detached.
I need that. I'm not going to get it at home.
I love it.
Everybody's too connected.
But it helps me stay grounded. And to not beat myself up for the moment that I decided to take, empty the dishwasher instead of coloring with Julia. Or, I could beat myself up for all that stuff. I mean, that's being a parent, being a mom.
Well, the other thing is
I
also
read
trying
her
to
a
be
book and I think of all the things I need to do. I'm reading shame. There's so much shame in that for me.
But you can't be all things to all people. I said that to myself the other day.
Yeah,
Nate wanted to play a game with me, and I was doing
be
in the middle of what I was doing. And something that had to be done. But I made a choice, but just followed it up in my head saying I can't be all things to him all the time.
No. And
I can't make it to every baseball game. It's not.
And that's
impossible.
where I'm telling you, therapy helps me with balance.
Okay. So if I get balance,
It
I need to
helps me.
find.
It helps me see my balance.
And I don't want anyone to think, and I said this before, that I'm unhappy. But I believe I can be happier in my own skin if I figure out how to get through these things. And I can't do it on my own. I'm trying to so bad, Allison.
Yeah,
like, man,
obviously, it's
I can
not
read
working.
I can read a book.
Listen, the book definitely, books help. I'm reading a fantastic book right now. Oh my God, what's the name of it? And it talks about how you look at obstacles. How do you look at obstacles? That's going to define you. And I believe that. I believe how I look at everything in my life can be an obstacle if I look at it.
Yeah.
How do I look at that obstacle? And it gives examples of people in history, powerful people, entrepreneurs, how they looked at the obstacles that were going on and how other people looked at them and how they saw it as a potential or profitable situation, or it's just all in. And so that I need that when I've had a hard day starting a business and you feel like, oh, the road is going to be long. I read that and it sets me right, you know?
But then I look at it when my entrepreneur friends need that, they call me, and then I give them. I don't take enough.
I believe that.
I give too
You
much.
give a ton.
I give too much.
No, maybe not.
Why am I judged for that? Like,
no, I think that you get. I don't think that that's a negative thing, but I think
why?
Be open to taking too. Why? It feels good to give.
We'll use this as an example. I just launched a Patreon website, patreon.com. You guys can go on. We'll put the link in the show notes where you can go and donate as small as $1 a month, because this show does not run itself. It takes a lot of time, energy, and investment. And you can go online and donate anything. I mean, I actually added rewards. You can get stickers, custom T-shirts, depending on the amount of money that you donate per month. Do you know to do that? Just simply to ask people for that took a month.
That's a hard thing.
Took a month. And I'm like, because then I'm like, why? Even though I know people have reached out to me on the show that I've become friends with that say, you should do that. I totally sign up in a heartbeat. And I'm thinking, really? Like, really?
Well, that's an awkward. I don't think that that's an abnormal reaction.
Well, I provide an hour worth of content every week. Every week we do this. We're a day late doing this, but every week I do that. I don't skip a beat. My friends joke, you run it like a business. I run this thing like a business. Just put just as much energy in my work as I do in this.
But you put it up.
All the time.
No, I'm saying this link you put up.
Yeah,
for
so I put it up and I got one. Again, it's one patron. But, and it's weird. Most people, here's the thing. A week ago, I'm in the studio, right? And I'm doing a commercial. So I'm like, hey, everybody, it's Patreon. I must have went through the script like 50 times. But then I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I'd rather tell you this. I'd rather do it on the show like this than come fake and shit and say that. Go ahead.
That's not who you are.
Go ahead and do that. But yet, those are the rules, though. That's how that's what you're supposed to do.
A commercial.
That's one thing I'm very happy with. If we're going to kind of slide into that, I'm very happy in the fact that I do things my way.
You're transparent.
But I do that in a way, and I'm unwavered. Like, I'm unwavered. I mean, I caught myself doing that. That's why I never put it up.
Right, it was awkward.
But I'm unwavered because I'd rather have this sit on the internet bookshelf and know that when I listen to this show, it's going to be a good show to listen back to in 20 years. That this was the time I decided to meet Dr. Hurwitz, my therapist, and we've been together for 8 years now, and I'm extremely happy that, and again, I'm not unhappy. I just need to find more happiness in what I do rather than constantly trying to search for
You see what you're lacking.
Kind of what I keep searching for. I want to feel, that success I see in other people. I want to see that in myself. Because people see that, and I know, and when they say it, I'm like, you're full of shit. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
I see it. You don't. I see it in you. You see it in me. What are you talking about?
Right, and that's not fair.
No. And then it's...
But, I mean, listen, it's hard to take a compliment. Believe me. It's hard to take a compliment.
I force myself to say, thank you. Thank you for that compliment.
I still am like, yeah, thank you, blah, blah, blah.
No,
like
yeah. I had a mentor of mine. He said that to me. He says,
I do that.
Next time someone gives you a compliment, just say thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. I mean, I do, but then there's times where I don't. I'm not going to say, no, you're full of shit. I say, thank you, but.
Yeah, make an excuse for why you succeeded, which is bullshit, because you deserve it. Just like I think I should deserve this with all of you. So, we talked about a lot of stuff, but I think that's what I like about this show, man. That was cool. We could have talked about New Year's resolutions, but that would have been crap. We did, originally the topic was about finding the truths you tell and the lies you tell yourself every time you tackle a new year. And I think you found a lot of my truth in this today. You called me out on a lot of things. You cut me deep, but I think I'm going to get through it.
You'll be okay.
You think so?
I think you'll be
fine.
fine.
Did. You said some stuff that the folks watching the video, just watch my face.
I wasn't harsh.
Stop it. No, you weren't at all.
Okay.
No, I want you to be honest with me.
I'll never not be honest.
I want you to be honest. You've always been that way every time we talk. I love the fact the first time I called you, I could just talk to you like I knew you, and we were just talking about stuff.
I can't be anybody else. It's just too exhausting.
No. Yeah, be yourself. Oh, so before we end the show, there's a segment that we call. You never heard this? You don't always listen to the show,
I
right?
listened to a few, so
So you know the segment, the Are You Listening?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You're not supposed to talk during it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think you should. No, it's just a long pregnant pause we do. I know it's a little rusty. We'll get you in there, but everybody likes the fact because people check their radios or their podcast players to think that kind of dropped off.
Oops.
No, you don't have thing? No, it's so fine. No, it's great. It's great. It's what it's. We'll just. I was saying fuck this segment anyway, but no, just kidding. So I'm gonna continue to do this because recently I've been watching a lot more Netflix than listening to podcasts, and I've pretty much the one thing that I kind of expanded for what I started to do is on our website at thedependentindependent.com. On our link, the Are You Listening link, you can see all the podcasts that we've profiled the last 2.5 years and links to their shows on overcast.com. And the one thing that has happened is I've built friendships now with all these people here. So it's redundant if I continue to promote their podcast. I really thought when I first started this segment that it would just be an opportunity to connect with more great way to promote other people's podcasts.
Which is nice.
Then I realized I spent more time, talking about their shows than my show.
That's not good business.
So that's at the end. That's why we talk about it at the end. I listen to some feedback from a guy I know. But I don't want to take away the power of the segment because the one podcast I want you to try out is, in starting this, probably one of the biggest accomplishments, I talked about it in 2017, is my wife, when I started doing this, she kind of was on the sidelines, right? The fact that I built this studio, I can't believe I did this. Kids were like, wow, Dad, it's so cool
awesome.
You did that. She decided to start a podcast of her own, and she's 5 episodes in, and they do the UBU podcast with Meg and Liv. It posts every other week, or at least... See, that's one thing. I produce their show. I should run their show like a business. Instead, I put too much on mine, which is bad. But my wife, I said, she's like the Al Pacino of podcasters. You only hear her on the show. She doesn't put anything online. You can't find her. But you can follow them on their Facebook page, of course, at the UBU podcast with Meg and Liv Facebook page, and the link will be in the show notes. I can't love promoting it because that wasn't here a year ago, and now it is. And like you said before, it's a really... It's connected to what we were talking about because you got to be you. And they do a show about moms. It's great, soon-to-be moms, aspiring moms. I love when Meg writes her notes to make sure she gets the tagline right at the beginning of every show. And me, just like the beginning of this show, I forgot what my name was. So they're great. You should check out that show. You can download it anywhere you find this show on iTunes and any Android podcasting app you listen to. And like I said, we'll put the hyperlink on the show notes. You can find it at thedependentindependent.com. And all of our Are You Listening segments are on our website. Allison, I know I love this. Someone said to me,
you love what?
How long the show's going on.
How long is it?
It's longer than I usually do. But they said you can never have a show that's too long. You can only have a show that's too boring. And I don't think this show was boring. I think this is you got me to feel some stuff, whether I shared it now or you got me to feel things. You know what? Even the idea of a therapist makes me feel safe that I can make a phone call and actually be able to do that. I just have to call Blue Cross Blue Shield, make sure it's covered. So stupid. I'm sure it is. I got crazy benefits. My wife's a teacher. She probably hate that I said that. But I got to do that, though. I should do that. That's one thing I've never done that I think I should do. Anything you want to add that we haven't talked about here? Do you feel good about 2018?
I do. I don't read horoscopes ever, and I came across, my niece shared one that was... People were commenting, this is so accurate. So I read it, and it was 2016, 2017. It was like where you are today, and where 2018, and it was so spot on. And then I tagged my girlfriend, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's so." And it was 2018 was epic for me as far as what it said. And it doesn't say I'm gonna be on top of the world. It just says a lot of really powerful, positive challenges, and really knowing what I want and who I am, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked, and I know that we grow in the valleys and not the peaks, and so even in the low times, that's where I grow. So I can't kind of wish they don't happen because good things came out of the lows,
and they're going to be there no matter what. You can't escape them.
It makes me strong.
I want to get through the year. I have no expectations.
Don't say I want to get through the year.
No, I have no expectations. I know what's going to happen. I got a couple of vacations planned.
Oh, good. Good for you.
No, one thing is we're on
I'll be 40.
We're on. Yeah, you'll be 40. No, 28. We're on our way to, at the end of this year, if all goes well, we'll hit 100 episodes at the end of this year. And it's funny, a year ago, I was planning our first live show with Tom Fuller to celebrate 50 episodes. That was awesome. That was the shit. I don't know what I'm going to do myself for the next month. I've got to think of something we do, some retrospect for when we hit 3 years, our 3-year anniversary. The first show posted on January 21st, 2000. That's the whole thing behind you, 2 years to the day we did.
I saw that.
That was awesome, man. That's I'm not a marketer, but what do you think?
I thought it was awesome.
That's very cool. All right.
Very
I'm good at something. This is episode 75 of the Dependent Independent Podcast. I want to thank Allison Gallagher for being my co-host and my friend today.
I didn't look this way
Thank you.
enough.
That's fine. No, it's fine. This we recorded this. I heard from the fans that you guys would rather have me. I think they get bored with just looking at me. So I talked Allison into through her fear of being on camera to be on as a co-host. I think she's amazing on camera. She's great. So this show will post in about a day or two, but this show will go up tonight on Tuesday, and you guys can listen to it first thing in the morning. Remember to subscribe to whatever podcast app you listen to. I can't say that enough. That way you get it automatically in your feed. And tell me what you think. Go and rate us on iTunes and follow us at the dependentindependent.com Facebook page, because that's where our community comes together. We're 200 followers strong, or you were the 200. Oh, you were the 200th episode.
That's right.
200 follower.
That's
we're 205 strong, 204. Kind of
Woo-hoo.
tweetles. Somebody just kind of jumps on, jumps off.
Yeah.
But you can check us out. Thank you for listening, and Allison and I are out.